Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really vital psychological distinction that could honestly fundamentally change how you view your past regrets. If you've ever found yourself lying awake at night, just replaying old scenarios and feeling that heavy burden in your chest, well, you're definitely not alone. So we're going to explore the profound difference between two emotions that often feel absolutely identical, but actually require completely different strategies to overcome. Let's dive right in by asking ourselves a pretty powerful question. When you get that sinking, uncomfortable sensation after something goes wrong, are you reacting to a specific mistake you made, or are you reacting to your core identity? Like, are you upset because of a choice you made, or because of who you fundamentally believe you are? This right here is the exact fault line where our emotional well-being tends to fracture, and understanding it kind of changes everything. It's this heavy emotional baggage that we all know way too well. Carrying around these unresolved emotions totally distorts our self-worth and really limits our growth. We literally all carry the weight of the past. But here's the good news. We don't have to carry it blindly. By understanding the specific nature of what's actually in that baggage, we can finally begin to unpack it, sort through it, and leave all that unnecessary, harmful weight behind us. Let's start with defining guilt and shame. To begin lightening our load, we really need to define the emotional beasts we're dealing with. Now, they might seem like two sides of the same coin when you're right in the thick of them, but their origins, their impact on our minds, and most importantly, their cures are fundamentally different. Guilt is strictly tied to an objective action in the past. It's an internal conflict. Imagine you promised to help a friend move, but you bailed at the last minute. Your moral compass knows you drifted off course. It's highly specific, right? You caused harm, you broke a rule, you let someone down. Guilt is entirely about what you did. Shame, on the flip side, is a deep-seated, paralyzing belief about your own personal unworthiness. Using that exact same example, guilt says, I did a bad thing by bailing on my friend. Shame screams, I am a terrible, selfish person. It isn't just about an action anymore. It's this toxic internal belief that you are inherently flawed. It doesn't say you made a mistake. It completely insists you are a mistake. And honestly, this leads to devastating endless cycles of self-rejection and just wanting to hide from the world. So let's look at the crucial psychological difference between the two. What's really interesting here is how we separate these two often confused emotions, because accurately labeling them strips away their hidden power. There's a brilliant quote from our source material that illustrates this core dichotomy perfectly, shifting our focus from an action on one hand to an identity on the other. It goes, guilt is the belief that you did something wrong. Shame is the belief that you are something wrong. It's a subtle shift in vocabulary for sure, but it represents a massive canyon in human psychology and self-perception. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that while guilt can actually be a healthy motivator to fix a mistake, shame just traps you in a cycle of self-sabotage. Guilt brings remorse, which motivates you to make amends. And once you address it, the guilt naturally fades away. Shame, however, is tied to your identity. It breeds profound feelings of worthlessness, makes you want to hide, and it persists deeply, entirely disconnected from any actual apologies or actions you might take. Moving on to the action path through guilt. So, how do we actually resolve these feelings? Well, since guilt is rooted in physical actions in the real world, the solution requires tangible actions to correct the imbalance. Drawing from the 12-step methodology found in the source, we can move from accountability to actual restitution. Step 8 involves fearlessly listing the harm you caused, identifying exactly where your actions created negative impacts. And then Step 9 takes it a step further. You must make direct amends wherever possible. You're effectively cleaning up the mess you made, provided, of course, that doing so doesn't cause further harm to others. Authentic guilt requires taking real responsibility and cleaning up the past, which ultimately allows that guilt to finally fade. It means acknowledging your actions honestly and accepting responsibility with zero excuses. You seek forgiveness, you make direct and sincere amends, and you reflect on the lessons you've learned. It is difficult, uncomfortable work, no doubt about it, but it's highly effective. It clears the ledger so you can actually move forward. Now let's talk about the antidote to toxic shame. Because shame is all about identity rather than an action, we need an entirely different antidote here. You can't exactly just make amends for your very existence, right? The approach has to shift inward, targeting the way we speak to and view ourselves. To dissolve toxic shame, you must actively separate your identity from your mistakes and treat yourself with the exact same compassion you'd offer a good friend. You have to practice daily self-compassion. You must actively challenge those dark, negative beliefs about your worth.
Focus on your inherent value simply as a human being and build supportive relationships. Shame thrives in darkness and isolation, but it dissolves when it's exposed to compassion and connection.
There is a reframe from the text that is an incredibly powerful tool to stop your inner critic dead in its tracks. When you feel a wave of shame hit you, your default might be to ask, "What is wrong with me?" Stop right there. That question is a total trap. Instead, try swapping judgment for curiosity. Ask yourself, "What do I need right now?" This instantly shifts your internal dynamic from harsh condemnation to supportive care. It's a real game changer. Finally, let's look at healing and moving forward. Ultimately, navigating these complex waters is all about shaping a healthier way to live in the world. Whether you're dealing with guilt or shame, true healing requires the courage to face reality rather than hiding from it. Emotional sickness is defined as avoiding reality at any cost, whether that's through numbing, denial, or just running away. Emotional health, conversely, is facing reality at any cost. It means looking objectively at what you did and objectively at who you are, with both relentless honesty and boundless grace. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take into your daily life. The next time you feel unworthy, the next time that heavy weight drops right into your stomach, just pause. Ask yourself, is this guilt asking for amends, or is it shame asking for compassion? Because knowing the difference is your very first step toward true emotional freedom. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep facing reality, and I'll catch you next time.